Good morning, everyone. Today is that special day that we as a community remember the person and the legacy of John Postel with the presentation of the Jonathan B. Postel Service Award. This morning, really at the suggestion of the selection committee, we have a short video for you that we hope really brings the spirit of John and this award into the room. So this is thanks.
A long time ago, in a network far, far away, a great adventure took place. Out of the chaos of new ideas for communication, the experiments, the tentative designs, and the crucible of testing, there emerged a cornucopia of networks. Beginning with the ARPANET, an endless stream of networks evolved and ultimately were interlinked to become the Internet. Someone had to keep track of all the protocols, the identifiers, networks, and addresses, and ultimately the names of all the things in the networked universe. And someone had to keep track of all the information that erupted with volcanic force from the intensity of the debates and discussions and endless invention that continued unabated for 30 years. That someone was Jonathan B. Postel, our Internet Assigned Numbers Authority, friend, engineer, confidant, leader, icon, and one of the first of the giants to depart from our midst. He had been our rock, the foundation on which our every web search and email was built, always there to mediate the random dispute, to remind us when our documentation did not do justice to its subject, to make difficult decisions with apparent ease, and to consult when careful consideration was needed. He left a monumental legacy for all Internauts to contemplate. Steadfast service for decades, moving when others seemed paralyzed, always finding the right course in a complex minefield of technical and sometimes political obstacles. When we needed to keep track of all the hosts and protocol identifiers, John volunteered to be the numbers czar, and later the IANA, once the Internet was in place. John was a founding member of the Internet Architecture Board and served continuously from its founding to the present. He was the first individual member of the Internet Society. I know, because he and Steve Wolf raced to see who could fill out the application forms and make payment first, and John won. He served as a trustee of the Internet Society. He was the custodian of the .us domain, a founder of the Los Netos Internet Service, and by the way, he managed the Network and Research Division of the USC Information Sciences Institute. John inspired loyalty and steadfast devotion among his friends and his colleagues. For me, he personified the words selfless service. For nearly 30 years, John served us all, taking little in return, indeed sometimes receiving abuse, when he should have received our deepest appreciation. John left a legacy of edited documents that tell our collective Internet story, including not only the technical, but also the poetic and whimsical as well. He contemplated the incorporation of a successor to his service as IANA and left a lasting legacy of service to the community in that role. His memory is rich and vibrant and will not fade from our collective consciousness. As the chairman of the Internet Society at the time of his death, I pledged to establish an award in John's name to recognize long-standing service to the community, the Jonathan B. Postel Award. It was awarded to John posthumously as his first recipient in 1998 and has been awarded every year since. If John were here, I am sure he would urge us not to mourn his passing, but to celebrate his life and his contributions. He would remind us that there is still much work to be done and that we now have the responsibility and opportunity to do our part. His record stands as a measure of one man's astonishing contribution to a community he knew and loved.
You, of course, will recognize the voice of Vince Cerf. He recorded this just this weekend. He wrote this piece, however, quite a while ago. But we thought this remembrance was one that we wanted to bring back to the community and hold it close as we award this amazing John Postel Service Award this year. Olaf Kalkman is going to do the honors for the Internet Society, and we have a very special presentation.
Thank you. Colleagues, I asked if I could play a role in this year's ceremony. I have done so because the awardee is what I imagine John Postel has been. A man with a vision about the internet who inspired others through competence, common sense, and a strong personality. The awardee is a man who has been an important mentor throughout my career in the internet, and I'm proud and I'm happy that it is possible to pay him respect publicly by handing him the Postel Service Award. In a moment, I will read the official award text, after which a short video will be shown. And since the video is easier to be seen from there than from here, the awardee will enter the stage after the video has been shown. Now, without further ado, for his pioneering work, 25 years of right leadership, and for enabling countless others to spread the internet across Europe and beyond, the Jonathan B. Postel Service Award 2015 has been awarded to Rob Blokzij.
Rob Blokzij made many contributions to the Internet in Europe and worldwide. We will just highlight 3 areas here. Rob's origins are in high-energy physics. While he worked at the High Energy Physics Institute in Amsterdam and at CERN in Geneva, Rob helped building the computer networks that became essential for this branch of science. As Brian Carpenter says it,
what Rob did, in my view, was to infuse the early networking scene in Europe with the spirit of pragmatic collaboration that was so strong in high-energy physics. When people started to take positions of principle, Rob would always bring the conversation back to practical aspects of resource sharing. If that meant being undiplomatic, Rob was always ready to be undiplomatic in the nicest possible way.
As commercial internet providers entered the scene, Rob realized very early on that vendor-neutral exchange points are crucial to provide stable and economical traffic exchange. He convinced his employer, the Dutch Institute for High Energy Physics, to rent out space in a then underused computer room on an equal access basis. There were many takers, and the Amsterdam Internet Exchange, AM6, was born. But Rob is mostly known and recognized for the contributions he made as chairman of RIPE, the European Forum for Internet Coordination. Rob has served as the chairman of RIPE for 25 years, from the very beginnings until last year. He led RIPE through 68 meetings in those 25 years, starting with just a handful of people in 1989 to now more than 500 attendees who meet twice a year. He made sure that minimal time is spent on organization and formalism and maximum time on meeting productivity. The very long coffee breaks of the early meetings are legendary, as are the social events today. Rob also played a vital role in the establishment of the RIPE NCC, the Secretariat of RIPE, and the first regional Internet registry. Rob also helped to spread the idea of such registries to other regions. When controversies arise, Rob helps the people concerned to solve them. Rob's custodianship of RIPE is very similar to the work and style of John Postel in helping others to achieve their goals. And this is how Jeff Houston puts it.
Rob always manages to say what we all feel, and he says it using half the words. And he says it in a way that has twice the impact than if anyone else were to say it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Bloxile.
Congratulations. Thank you. Rob, hereby the Postel Service Award with the inscription that I just read. I cannot find the slide back, but again it says, for his pioneering work, 25 years of right leadership, and for enabling countless others to spread the internet in Europe, across Europe and beyond. Rob. Let's do the small photo things.
Yes.
We need to do a few photo things as it goes. Thank you.
And Rob, would you like to say a couple more?
In the first place, I would like to thank the Internet Society and the Awards Committee for this great honor. I am deeply touched by it, and this morning, when I was looking forward to this ceremony, I thought, oh my God, I have so many things to tell, but luckily other people have taken care of that to a great extent. And I think the video also gave some of the things I would have mentioned. However, there are still a couple of things I would like to mention. 35 years ago, I was happily working as a nuclear physicist in the institute shown on the screen a few moments ago. When one day my director came back from a meeting at CERN and called me to his office and said, Rob, I have seen something absolutely fantastic. My colleague from a large nuclear physics laboratory, the Rutherford Laboratory in the United Kingdom, he is sitting at CERN behind a terminal and is working on his computer in England. I don't know how this works, but I want that too. I said, you want to work on a computer in England? No! When I'm at CERN, I want to work on the computer of the Institute in Amsterdam. Go and fix that. I had no clue what he was talking about. So I organized myself a trip to CERN, where I met people like Brian Carpenter, present here, and got educated in computer networking. A little while later, we had a small group of people organizing and computer networking for high-energy physicists in Europe with some links to the United States. And I ended up in chairing one of these networking committees for physicists. And I learned a management tool from a dear friend from Italy, friend and colleague Enzo Valente, who explained to me, Rob, the way we work in these committees and communities, it is democratic dictatorship. We listen to everybody, and when we have heard everybody's opinion, somebody should decide what to do. So, democratic part is clear, and the dictatorship is clear, otherwise nothing will ever happen. I think that for me personally it was an extremely valuable lesson, which I try to apply in all my various roles in the growing networking community. Another tool which I learned is a tool from the IETF. It's called humming. I don't think any other community outside the IETF has any idea what it means. Even some of the participants who are new to the IETF still have to do their homework and do some humming in the bathroom or so. Like many tools, there is one element missing: humming over the internet in a fashion like we could do a hum here right now has yet to be defined and implemented. But what I have used the concept of humming, the concept basically of expressing consensus in my 25 years of chairmanship of RIPE was very easy in the beginning when the whole community in Europe, networking community involved in internet style of technology, consisted of 14 people or so. It became a more important tool like today, when we have now roughly 600 participants in meetings which we have twice a year. Participants are coming from our own area, which covers 75 countries, plus growing interest from outside our area. I think for the last 2 or 3 years, the largest group of people on a geographical basis is usually from the host country, and the second place for many years already is the United States, a well-known country, European country, west of Ireland, I sometimes define it. But reaching consensus on policy proposals in that community, I must say we have learned a lot from the IETF. We use tools that are proven to work. Last but not least, in the last 10 years or so, we are all network engineers. Some of us even grew up in the time of open system interconnect theoretical models, 7 layers of networking, and from the wire as the first layer till the application on the 7th layer, and there it stopped because we were engineers. And the 2 layers on top of that we never discussed, or hardly discussed ever. Layer 8 is money. We are engineers, we are not interested in money. Somebody else should build this stuff who has the money. And layer 9 is religion and politics, and that has become extremely time-consuming and sometimes even important in the last couple of years. And I must say I personally support and admire the role that the Internet Society plays there. The Internet Society has created a lot of trust and importance in discussing these items. There is a whole circuit, some people say a circus out there, where these things are discussed, ranging from human rights on the Internet till who controls the Internet, and this is governments talking, so you better take them serious. And if you want to have your opinion listened to, you have to participate in that whole circuit, and the occasional participation in a meeting is not enough. And I know that the Internet Society is playing an extremely important role there, which I think is something that not everybody always realizes. the Internet Society is more than just a legal umbrella for the IETF, which is also an extremely important role, but things like education in certain parts of the world where the Internet Society plays a role are equally important. And as I said, the religious and political aspects should not be underestimated. And whatever we, the community, can do to support the Internet Society there, we should do. I think I could go on for many hours, but I won't do that. I would like to conclude by once again thanking my physics institute who put me on the road of networking. The last 15 years of my employment there, I hardly spent any time on physics anymore, but more than full time on networking. I would like to thank them for that trust. I would like to thank the larger physics community where I learned about networking. I would like to thank my internet community in Europe, the RIPE community and the RIPE NCC, acting as a secretariat in a fantastic way. And that also helps to build trust in the higher layers 8 and 9. And last but not least, thank you again, Internet Society, for awarding me with this, which I personally regard as a very important and high decoration. Thank you.
I think that a collective hum is better than a collective applause. So,